The universe in Star Rail isn't a particularly happy place. There are gods going around destroying galaxies, corrupt corporations looking only to profit, and even seemingly positive things like a long life can be twisted and perverted into a curse none would wish upon even their enemies. In such a universe, only the wisest and most enlightened can understand the value of the fleeting joy laughter can give. The joy and delights that come from a breathless and continuous laughter is one of the few remaining heights of happiness one can experience in such a bleak existence. But it isn't always sunshine and rainbows, and the followers of the path of elation are clear examples of it. So today, we're going to talk about the followers of the Aeon of Elation and determine whether their laughter is truly genuine or just a coping mechanism they use to survive in their stark and desolate universe. Before we dive further into that, if you want to see more Honkai Star Rail content, do consider subscribing to the channel. The path of elation is a rather odd one. It likely stems from the many emotions and thoughts of sentient creatures to just have fun and enjoy themselves regardless of consequence or outcome. There isn't much known about this path at the moment, and we've met very few people who actually follow it. Despite its seemingly sunny philosophy, there is a fine line, however, between elation and just clear utter chaos. Oftentimes, whenever elation is mentioned, especially when it's involving its Aeon, there is always some manner of destructive or catastrophic event occurring as a result of them pursuing the joy they seek. While we don't know much about the path itself, we do know a little bit more about its Aeon. Aha is the Aeon of Elation, and because of its penchant for mischief, it's considered to be one of the few Aeons that are close to mortals. This is likely because it considers them interesting, but also often treats them as playthings, toys to be manipulated and enjoyed until they eventually break or Aha gets bored. In appearance, Aha seems to have a humanoid figure, though obscured by many props, equipment, and toys, as well as masks and cards that give off a more circus theme. Because of his largely unpredictable behavior, many mortals and even Aeons find Aha tedious and often avoid him, though this doesn't stop Aha from messing around with them. There are also plenty of stories on how dangerous Aha really is, as he once blew up a planet for fun, infiltrated the Nameless on the Astral Express only to plant a bomb on the train, and even Herta chose to forcefully expunge this Aeon from the simulated universe because of the damage he was doing. All this just exemplifies how unpredictable and chaotic the Path of Elation truly is, and this is reflected in the first faction we'll talk about, the Masked Fools. The Masked Fools are the faction that is considered to be the closest to Aha in terms of practice. They believe functionally almost the same thing Aha does, in that the universe is a giant soulless machine. To the Masked Fools, the ultimate truth of the universe and reality is that it's a big depressing joke, and only joy and elation being the only escape from these truths. Because the world is seen in such a way, the Masked Fools aim to stir the pool that is life, to incite or maybe force it to change. The way they approach carrying out this change can sit on either ends of the extreme. Some just like to entertain people, while other members pursue joy to extreme lengths. Because of this, they seem to be very chaotic in nature, and you can never know how one member might behave compared to another. Most Masked Fools function out of interstellar taverns, some of which they themselves own. They kind of remind me aesthetically of chaotic neutral bards in D&D who are just out for fun, but you can never tell to what extent they would go to obtain it. They are not entirely disorganized though, and some among them have infiltrated many different factions and even have long-term plans in place that optimizes and derives the most amount of joy. So despite their parallels to entities of chaos, they can be organized when they want to, especially if it maximizes their fun. Sempo is one of the characters that is highly speculated to be associated with this particular faction, and may have been the people he spoke to at the end of the Belobog storyline. The other factions that are associated with the Aeon Elation are the Mourning Actors. While most followers of Aeons do so because they believe in what the Aeon or that path stands for, the Mourning Actors actually don't believe in Aha or Elation. In fact, they think that elation in itself isn't a good thing and actively abstain from it. They even travel the universe trying to convince every person they meet to stay away from elation, as the Mourning Actors see it as something that offers people false hope. A drug that humanity gets hooked on that distracts from the realities and the truth of the universe. To them, all mortals and sentient creatures should instead accept the true nature of the universe and do away with joy, which only functions as a minor distraction. So if they don't believe in elation, what are they doing on a video about Aha's followers? Well, with the path of elation centered around having fun and finding laughter, this entire faction is related to Aha only because they are functionally the butt of a joke. You see, when Aha first heard of this faction, Aha thought it was hilarious that there existed people who rejected the truth of elation. True to the trolling nature of Aha, just to functionally screw with them I guess, he granted them powers from the path of elation itself. Aha blessed them so that they may continue to spread their beliefs across the cosmos and have others renounce elation. Basically, Aha gave them powers even if they don't want those powers. Now, despite my earlier mention of this being a thing Aha did just for a laugh, it's actually more complicated than that. While Aha does pursue joy and happiness, it also identifies with the humor that stems from facing reality and truth. The dark humor that is born from understanding the tragedy hidden in reality and the powerlessness of people and even gods to go against it. This view is what makes Elation one of my more favorite paths and groups. For all their talk of happiness and joy and laughter, the truth it is rooted in is rather sad and maybe even depressing. I have this impression that the laughter each follower and even the Aeon itself pursues is on some level a really depressing attempt at laughing at one's powerlessness and futility against reality. It's the realization that shitty things happen, and in the grand scheme of things, every living being from the lowliest mortal to the strongest god can't escape from it. A life where there is no meaning or purpose and every person is just functionally a gear or a cog in a machine. The laughter they pursue could just be a coping mechanism against such a bleak reality where the truth is, none of us really matter. It's an existential crisis that forces them to laugh in order to cope with the harsh truth, because the alternative would be to just give up and fall into the despair of nihility. Both humor and dark humor are two sides of the same coin, and I doubt all followers of Elation think in this way alone. Just as quickly as this became depressing, Aha likely doesn't care either way, as long as at the end of the day, he gets a laugh. That covers the two factions we currently know that follow the path of Elation and the Aeon Aha. If you enjoyed watching the video, do consider liking and subscribing to the channel. Don't think too much about the meaning of life, and I'll see you in the next one. As usual, have a nice day.